Good morning. The Spirit of God has awakened me out of my sleep and requested that I come and share a word with you. Isn't it good to know that you're on the mind of God? I would like to begin our session very briefly with a story. The story is about a son and his father. They go on a fishing trip. Both of them are very excited about taking this trip. As they jump into the truck on Saturday morning and throw the tackle boxes and the life jackets in the back, they have the music blasting as they ride down the road. In their excitement, they're singing the songs together. The father sings a verse, and the son sings a verse. And then they both sing together. What a wonderful day this is going to be. The son reaches over to give the father a hug, and the father stretches his arms to return the hug. All of a sudden, bam! There's a car accident, a head-on collision. The father dies on the scene, and the son is rushed to the hospital. The doctor rushes into the operation room, stops suddenly, and says, "I cannot do this operation. This is my son." My question is, who is the doctor? I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. Many of you are confused right now. You're letting it run through your head. Some of you are hoping that I repeat the story again. Okay, here we go. A son and his father, they go on a fishing trip. So both of them are very excited about taking this trip. As they jump into the truck on Saturday morning and throw the tackle boxes and life jackets in the back, they have the music blasting as they ride down the road. In their excitement, they are singing the songs together. Are you listening? The father sings a verse, and then the son sings a verse, and then they both sing together. What a wonderful day this is going to be. The son reaches over to give the father a hug, and the father stretches his arms to return the hug. All of a sudden, there's a car accident. Bam! A head-on collision. The father dies on the scene. The son is rushed to the hospital. The doctor rushes into the operation room and stops suddenly and says, "I cannot do this operation. This is my son." My question is, who is the doctor? Still confused, are you? Many of you are thinking, well, the father died, so it has to be the stepfather. Could be the grandfather. Is it probable that the boy was adopted and the real father has to do the surgery? Some of you are just stuck because it seemed to make no sense. Well, my friend, it makes sense. See, this is what you call a paradigm. A paradigm is a set of assumptions, concepts, values, and practices that constitutes a way of viewing reality for the community that shares them, especially in an intellectual discipline. Someone says, well, there's a problem with the story. Maybe Apostle Steve missed a piece. Okay, you give up? The doctor is the son's mother. Now do you understand how the way we live out our lives sometimes plays a major role in the dysfunction we see in our world? I believe God has called me to bring about a shift in consciousness. A shift in how we view the world. For many years, while we thought our eyes were open, they were actually closed. Closed to everything God wants us to see. And I was awakened this morning to tell you that God cares about you. You are indeed on the mind of God. However, to get a good picture of God in every situation in your life, you have to step outside of the problem for a change and actually become the solution. The majority of the time, how we see the problem is the problem. A paradigm is like a map in our heads, a map that can be divided into two categories: reality, the way things are, and values, the way things should be. Everything we experience on a day-to-day basis are interpreted through these mental maps. We seldom question whether or not we are right. We're usually unaware that there's even a question to ask. We simply assume that the way we see things is the way they are, or the way they should be. Out of these assumptions stem our attitudes and behaviors. The way we see things is the source of the way we think and the way we act. And as we look around downtown Newport News, there are churches on every corner. My question is, what is the problem? People are everywhere, looking for answers in drugs and alcohol and sex, trying to find things to keep them busy, trying to get out of a system that was really meant for them to remain. We cannot overlook the realities and say there is no problem. Oh yes, my friends, there is a problem. However, we're not going to point fingers and say the problem is this church or that church, this denomination or that one. Again, we're going to try something different this time. Stepping away from the problem and becoming a part of the solution. trying to change outward attitudes and behaviors does us all little good. In the long run, if we fail to examine the assumptions, the concepts, the values, and the practices from which those attitudes and behaviors flow. Simply put, where you stand in your assumptions, concepts, values, and practices are determined by where you sit. We see the world most of the time not as it is, but as we are, or as we have been conditioned to see it. And when we open our mouths to describe what we see, we in essence describe who we are. My question to you until next time is, who are you?